AITA for asking my fiance to skip this year's Christmas family vacation because our baby is due? Wow, I wasn't expecting this many responses, and I can't personally thank all of you, but thank you all so much. All your support and responses mean a lot, and I definitely plan on showing this thread to him. Context: I have gone to Florida with his family for the past 5 years for at least part of Christmas. Every other year, I returned before him to spend Christmas Day with my family. This year is the first time in a long time that all the other siblings are able to overlap dates. My fiancé has major FOMO, which is why this is a sensitive subject. His parents have always been weird about keeping their family close. They've never said it outright, but little things suggest they don't consider me completely part of their family yet, since we aren't married. Also, my parents are away overseas dealing with a grandparent emergency. My mom has been kept in the loop though and is trying to come back as soon as she can. My fiancé and I, 31M and 31F, are expecting our first baby due December 30th. His family has a vacation home in Florida and they have gone every year during the holidays for about a month until after New Year. He agreed not to go this year because of the baby, but his family is insisting that he go and come back on the 28th, which is ample time before the baby is due. So he bought a ticket for December 15th, 28th. His reasoning is that his parents really want him there and his siblings will also be going. This is bothering me a lot more than I thought, because I know pregnancies are unpredictable, especially in the last trimester, and if anything happens leading up to the due date, I need him there. My parents are away until December 26th and my friends have their families, so I will be completely alone. The other reason, and I guess it's more selfish, is that I will be spending Christmas by myself. It's not the main reason why I'm bothered, but it's a small part of it. He's been spending Christmas every year in Florida since he was 15, and there will be many more trips after the baby is born. I don't know why he has to go this year. Anytime I bring it up, it results in a very uncomfortable fight about my expectations to put me first rather than his parents. I don't even bring it up anymore. His parents have always been kind to me, but they also don't see any problem, so I think I'm going crazy. AITA here? NTA. He is showing you where his priorities lie. And sadly they are not with you. Believe him. Right now he should be putting you and his unborn child well before his parents. While his parents have always been kind, look at what they are doing now with insisting he come. You are not his priority. Nor are they looking out for your health and well-being as you carry their grandchild. Make your plans now on how you will get to the hospital, birthing center if the baby comes early. That should be your first priority. After that's done, please evaluate your relationship and seriously decide if this is what you want your future to be, and the future of your child. If you decide it isn't, then start to figure out your exit. Even if he does make it back before the baby comes. I am so sorry you are having to deal with this right now. The stress of it all has got to be immense and not something you should be subjected to right now. My friend's husband went out of town 2 weeks before their baby was born and she went into labor. While he was gone, he raced to the airport and got on the soonest flight possible and missed the birth. Thankfully her family lives in town and was with her. Due dates are just an approximation of when baby will come. Being out of town until 2 days before the due date is idiotic. NTA at all, and you aren't wrong for feeling sad that you are being left alone on Christmas either. I would take your husband with you to your next APPT or make an APPT if you don't have one already set up, and ask your OP how likely it is that he may miss the birth if he leaves. Your fiancé is putting his personal happiness as a priority over you and your baby. This is what he's going to continue to do for years to come. despite you and your baby becoming his primary family because he will always put his parents first. This man is not ready to raise a child because he's still acting like a one with how dependent he is on mommy and daddy. He's not husband material either. NTA. Are you kidding me? They are all leaving a pregnant woman alone on the holidays at the absolute end of her pregnancy? This is not appropriate behavior for your fiance, your partner, the father of this child. FFS. NTA. ETA. OMG, I'm so ticked off for you. This is not loving, caring behavior. NTA. But if he can't put his future spouse as his priority over his parents, he isn't ready to leave them. And this is huge. Anything can happen. And he's okay leaving his pregnant partner alone that is close to the due date. On Christmas no less. Learn from this. If he's ditching you while heavily pregnant on Christmas because his parents are his priority, he isn't husband material. NTA. Your husband is a fool if he goes. This is your first baby. You do not know if the baby will be here early, on time or late. His family is you and the baby. If his family can't see that another issue. None of them have a crystal ball and know when that baby is coming. Personally, I would also be pointing out how quickly things can go wrong for mom or bubs during labor. I am actually disgusted with him for thinking this is okay to leave his vulnerable wife during that time. You just don't know what's going to happen. And what's with not wanting to spend Christmas with you? Leaving you completely alone. Not cool. I am furious for you. Where are you? I will come and take care of you. Do not marry this man. Use the time he's gone to get a lawyer. Get custody and child support and probably a place to live in a row. You and your kid will always play second fiddle to his parents' wants, needs. He will go against anything you wish to appease his parents. NTA. NTA. Yeah, he ought to know that you don't plan to be out of town until the 28th before a baby that's due on the 30th. That's ridiculous. Even if it weren't for the possibility that the baby will be born during the travel. And that is a definite possibility. These are some of the most physically difficult days of your pregnancy. And he's, what, putting you on a plane? Taking off and leaving you by yourself? None of this is a good idea. And I'm surprised his family is even letting him do it, much less insisting. NTA. Your fiance is planning on leaving you, pregnant and near your due date, all alone for the holidays. Because he's been spending Christmas every year in Florida since he was 15. Does he not understand that his life is about to change drastically? Or does he expect you to take on the entire burden so he can carry on like before? It's time for a wake-up call. Tell him either he puts you and your baby above everyone and everything else, or he can resign to being a 2 weekends a month dad. Unless you want to spend the rest of your life being treated as an afterthought. Only a complete asshole would do this. He is not ready to be either a father or a husband. You not bringing it up anymore means he has won in wearing you down. I would be extremely clear that you do not appreciate being abandoned for Christmas and for your final days before birth, a time when he should be catering to you, not his family. I would also be clear that you will not be answering any texts or calls while he's gone because he doesn't deserve any information. Then make a plan in case you go into labor and a long-term plan about the rest of your life. For me, there would be no recovery from this. I'm sure your friends will be there for you if you let them know what is happening. Good luck. As they say around here often, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. He's just told you he is willing to put his family's and his own wants above your very important needs. He is willing to risk missing the birth of his child, willing to leave you utterly unsupported at one of the most vulnerable times of your life for a holiday. I'm so sorry, but this is a glimpse into your future. Tell him very clearly that you need him to stay and that going is unacceptable. If he goes anyway, prepare to be a single parent. You deserve better. NTA. Oh yeah, traveling to Florida, of all places, during cold, flu, RSV, COVID season for the last 2 weeks of your pregnancy. And he's flying back 2 days before your due date? Are you sure you want to marry someone who won't put you first? And doesn't even give a thought to the health of your child? Edit to add. NTA. Come on now. I know you don't actually think you're the crazy one. Please tell your friends and mother this and see what they have to say. Also, your Mill is asking her son to be away from his very pregnant wife. Ask your Mill about her births and tell her you're scared of being alone. See what she says. Then you will have a better understanding of how kind they are. If she brushes your fears aside, you don't want your baby around that family. If she tells you she didn't ask her son to go, then you know your man is lying. Also, a whole family can take a month off work? Edit, 'cause I have questions. How long have you been engaged? Have you ever been to Florida for Christmas? NTA. I'm a husband and a father. You are NTA. Many years ago, my girlfriend at the time was going to be alone in London for Christmas. We'd been dating a year, but it was a serious relationship. When I found out, I insisted she spend Christmas with me and my family because the thought of a loved no being alone at Christmas was immoral to me. That girlfriend is now my wife and mother of my 2 children. I could never in a million years imagine leaving her alone while pregnant in the 3rd trimester. Your fiance doesn't appear to have cut the apron strings. Either that or he has another more sinister motive for going. However, I find this whole thing hugely inappropriate from him. I always say we all have reckless behaviors at some stage of our lives, but if having a child doesn't change you for the better, then nothing will change you. Show him this post and every other post that says you are NTA guided by his reaction. Does he get defensive and double down, or does he realize that he is on the cusp of abandoning his family? NTA. But if you do have the baby, don't notify him. He can find out when he gets home. He wants to put his parents before his pregnant partner. Then he doesn't deserve to know until he gets home. How ridiculous. Will he keep putting his parents first after the baby comes? My thought is he will. Maybe you need to get a spare key to your parents' house and move back with your parents until he appreciates you. I'm a therapist. I had this exact same situation occur with a client. You're absolutely not the asshole. It's a ridiculous and selfish reason not to be with your partner during a time when they need you more than ever. WTF. Oh hun, this is bad. So very bad. You're NTA, but honestly you need to think long and hard about marrying him. Like y'all can always co-parent. I just had my first baby and she come 3 days early, so anything could happen. Congratulations. By the way, smile, your husband is a dick. The fact that your would-be in-laws are gleefully egging on your fiancé, encouraging him to be away from the mother of his child right as she's about to give birth, should give you pause about marrying into this brood of self-absorbed bozos. NTA, but you'll be taught to yourself if you don't really look at what you're getting into. NTA. I'm imagining your husband sitting down with your unborn child and a calendar planner. This is the only time I'm available, so you have to come after the 28th. Any early is simply not going to work for me. Meanwhile, baby has absolutely penned in 10:47 p.m. the 25th of December for maximum chaos. Why does this guy know nothing about due dates? Specifically that they're estimates and are rarely right. Tell him that if he misses the baby's birth because he left you alone for Christmas, that you'll never let him live it down. Even if the baby comes later? You'll never forget him abandoning you when you needed him most. Tell his parents that supporting his ridiculous idea simply means that you know where you and your baby stand. And that's not in Florida at Christmas ever. That even if the baby does come when it's supposed to, you will always associate their Christmas tradition with being alone and scared, and being called crazy for it. The biggest problem is the position they all put you in. Your fiance will resent you if he stays. If the baby doesn't come, it's an "I told you so." His parents will think they're vindicated. There is no way you get what you need and aren't the bad guy. And that sucks because his selfishness is the problem. I don't like these "leave, divorce" type comments. But the moment my partner told me that he was going to knowingly leave me 9 months pregnant for an extended party, there'd be no wedding.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.